Hello, good morning, ma'am. Our topic is wildlife management, and our group member is Dalia Selsi, Panderi Jainsi, Patel Dhruvi, Ashwini Jadhav, and Yesha Bhatt. My name is Dalia Selsi and I will explain definition of wildlife management. Wildlife management is the management process influencing interaction among and between wildlife, its habits and people to achieve predefined impacts. It attempts to balance the needs of wildlife with the needs of people using the best available science. Wildlife management attempts to balance the needs of wildlife with the needs of people using the best available science. That means wildlife management is basically a process of conservation of wildlife. It affects the interaction between wildlife and other organisms. It also refers to other factors like habits, environment, and the local community. It focuses on achieve the needs of people as well as the needs of wildlife without disturbing any of them. For achieving this main use the science and technology. Wildlife management can include wildlife conservation, gaming, and pest control. Wildlife management draw on disciplines such as mathematics, chemistry, biology, ecology, climatology, and geography to gain the best results. Wildlife population are managed for several reasons, such as to control an overpopulation, to avoid overharvesting, to maintain population at levels compatible with sustained yield of products such as food, trophies, and furs, and to support ecosystem process and resilience. That means wildlife management also include the conservation of wildlife, gamekeeping and control of pests to allow proper growth of wildlife. It may use scientific aspect or other aspect related to mathematics, chemistry, biology, ecology, climatology and geography to gain the best result that are effective for long term. Wildlife population also needs to be managed to prevent the problem of overpopulation, to avoid overuses of resources of overhasting, and to maintain the population at compatible level according to the carrying capacity of environment. It also provides humans with benefits like products including fur, fruit, trophies, etc. It also supports ecosystem process. This process involves many components including the following: your own knowledge and understanding of wildlife population trends, factors that influence wildlife population, the interaction of wildlife species, the impact of humans and how surround landscape affects wildlife. That means wildlife conservation include many components. The primary components is the human knowledge about wildlife trends and their needs. Other components include the factors affecting the wildlife, effect of human action on wildlife, effect of surround environment, and the effect of interaction among the wildlife.
Myself, Panderi Jansi, I am going to give an insight about what is the significance of wildlife conservation. Biodiversity is one of the important issues. Reduction in number of one animal interrupts the ecosystem and also it leads to threat of other species. Means if we do not engage ourselves in activity of wildlife management, then it would lead to reduction in number of any specific animals who are in danger or endangered species, and due to this extinction of one species, the other species which are dependent on that for food or for other needs would also get affected. In this way, the whole biological chain or the food web would get disturbed. All animals play an important role in the ecosystem. Yes, of course, we know that all organisms or animals are important to us in one or the other way. The loss or reduction of certain species can have a flow on effect, including an effect on human food and water source. They are critical to our survival. Many of animals are also being used by human beings as as food purposes. Also, many animals help in maintaining the environmental conditions, and thus if the animals would not be saved or they would be in danger, then indirectly it would be a danger even to the human life or the human world. Animal conservation can be important to relieve suffering for animals because they are kept captive. Yes, this is one of the most important reasons we should engage ourselves in wildlife conservation, because today the greedy nature of humans has forced a lot of animals to stay in captive state, forced them to stay beyond their limits, and this is not at all humanity. Examples of it include use of elephants in Southeast Asia for tourism. In Southeast Asia, elephants are mainly used for tourism purpose and they are forced to do so. We can see the Asiatic elephants in the picture given in the second slide of significance. Likewise, the use of orangutans in Indonesia for boxing shows. The monkey like animal shown in the first slide is orangutans. It is found mainly in Indonesia and it is used for the boxing show purposes. It is a type of entertaining show for people and it is a type of earning money. So, we should take care of wildlife and we should engage ourselves eagerly and willingly in activities of wildlife conservation.
Hello everyone, myself Dhruvi Patel. In today's topic of wildlife and management, my part is the problem to wildlife animals. Wildlife are under threat from many different kinds of human activities, from directly destroying habitat to spreading invasive species and disease. Most ecosystems are facing multiple threats. Each new threat puts additional stress on already weakened ecosystem and their wildlife. So these are some threats to wildlife. Additional threats to wildlife: loss of wetlands. Loss of wetlands means higher temperatures will lead to drier conditions in the Midwest Prairie Pothole region, one of the most important breeding areas for North American waterfowl. Sea level rise. Sea level rise means it will inundate beaches and marshes and cause erosion on both coasts, diminishing habitat for birds, invertebrates, fish, and other coastal wildlife. Invasive species and disease. Higher average temperatures and changes rain and snow patterns will enable some invasive plant species to move into new areas. Insect pest infestation will be more serves as pests such as mountain pine beetle are able to take advantage of drought weakened plants pathogens and their host that thrive in higher temperatures will spread to new areas. Competition, hunting, tourism, overgrazing are some basic threats to wildlife. Disease outbreak can kill thousands of animals very quickly. They hit especially hard if the animals are rare, threatened, or fragmented species. Over the last few decades, many new animal diseases have emerged, and older diseases have spread to new areas. Zoonosis. Wild animals, domestic animals, and humans share a large and increasing number of infectious diseases known as zoonosis. The continued globalization of society, human population growth, and associated landscape changes further enhance the interface between wildlife, domestic animals, and humans, thereby facilitating additional infectious disease emergence. The wildlife component of this triad has received inadequate focus in the past to effectively protect human health, as evidenced by such contemporary diseases as SARS, Lyme disease, West Nile fever, and a host of other emerging diseases. Further, habitat loss and other factors associated with human induced landscape changes have reduced past ability for many wildlife populations to overcome losses due to various causes. This disease emergence and reusers has reached unprecedented importance for the sustainability of desired population levels for many wildlife population and for the long-term survival of some species. Zoonoses are infectious diseases of animals, usually vertebrates, that can naturally be transmitted to humans. How is zoonosis caused? Zoonotic transmission can occur in any context in which there is pets, farming, predatory hunting, butchering, or consuming wild game, or research contact with or consumption of animals, animal products, or animal derived derivatives such as vaccine, etc. Example of zoonosis. Disease name is Ebola virus disease. Its pathogens is Ebola virus. Animal involved in this are chimpanzees, gorillas, fruit bats, monkeys, shrews, forest antelope, and porcupines. Mode of transmission of this disease through body fluid and organs and thicks. Problems facing wildlife animals, habitat loss. Due to destruction, fragmentation, or degradation of habitat is the primary threat to the survival of wildlife. When an ecosystem has been dramatically changed by humans' activities such as agriculture, oil and gas exploration, commercial development, or water diversion, it may no longer be able to provide the food, water, cover, and places raise young that wildlife need to survive. Every day there are fewer places left that wildlife can call home. Major kind of habitat loss, habitat destruction. A bulldozer pushing down tree is the iconic image of habitat destruction. Other ways people directly destroy habitat include filling in wetlands, dredging rivers, moving fields, and cutting down trees. Second, habitat for fragmentation. Much of the remaining terrestrial wildlife habitat is the US is the US has been cut up into fragmentation into fragments by roads and development. Aquatic species habits have been fragmented by dams and water diversion. These fragments of habitat may not be large or connected enough to support species that need a large territory where they can find mates and foods. Third, habitat degradation. Pollution, invasive species, and disruption of ecosystem processes such as changing the intensity of fires in an ecosystem are some of the ways habitat can become so degraded they no longer support native wildlife. Climate change. Climate change is quickly becoming the biggest threat. No longer is climate change something only facing future generations. Change to our climate are being documented all across the planet today, and people, animals, and plants are already feeling the heat. Warming signal is also found in ocean temperatures, soil temperatures, melting glaciers, and melting polar ice caps. It has been linked to widespread impacts on ecosystem around the planet. This preponderance of evidence all points to the conclusion that our planet is warming and natural systems are struggling to keep up. Human impact on climate change. Climate change is caused by humans. Scientists have concluded that most of the observed warming is very likely due to the burning of coal, oil, and gas. This condition, this conclusion is based on a detailed understanding of the atmospheric greenhouse effect, and how human activities have been changing it. At the same time, other responsible explanation, most notably changes in the sun, have been ruled out. Pollution. Every day, the byproducts of our daily life, sewage, exhaust, trash, agriculture and lawn chemicals, industrial and power plant emission, and more make their way via the air and water into the natural environment and become pollution. As big as our planet is, it's not big enough to dilute or absorb all the waste, chemicals, and nutrients that billions of people are continuously producing. Since the 1960s, the United States has made great progress in reducing air and water pollution. We have success controlling many points source pollutions. The pollutions can be tracked back to a specific source such as a sewage treatment or industrial plant. However, these are many non-point source pollutants coming from many diffuse sources that are still regularly released into the environment. Overexplo- Overexploitation, exploitation of removal of individual or biomass from a natural population at a rate greater than the population is able to match with its own requirement, thus tending to drive the population towards extinction. Insects, oysters, octopus, catfish, sea stars, scorpions, crabs, and sponges are all kinds of this animals class. Today, many invertebrates, particularly marine invertebrates, are at risk from over harvesting. Poaching. Poaching in the law, the illegal shooting, trapping, or taking of game, fish, or plants from property, or from a place where such practices are specially reserved or forbidden. Poaching is a major existential threat to numerous wild organisms worldwide and is an important contributor to biodiversity loss. Enroachment. An enroachment is something that introduces and has the power to influence whatever it encounters. Some might consider text messaging to be an enroachment of impersonal technology on true heartfelt interaction. The effects of human enroachment into wildlife habitats leads first leads to reduction of the habitat, second leads to increased human wildlife conflicts, third result to migration of some animals, fourth leads to killing or dying of some animals, fifth some animals and plants may become extinct, sixth leads to wildlife predation. Deforestation. Deforestation refers to the decrease in forest areas across the world that are lost for other uses such as agricultural, croplands, urbanization, or mining activities, greatly accelerated by human activities since 1960. Deforestation has been negatively affecting natural ecosystem, biodiversity, and the climate. The loss of trees and other vegetation can cause climate change, desertification, soil erosion, fewer crops, flooding, increased greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, and a host of problems for indigenous peoples. Human wildlife conflict. Human wildlife conflicts refers to the negative interaction between human and wildlife animals with undesirable consequences for both people and their resources, and wildlife and their habitats. The cause of human wildlife conflict was human settlement, agricultural expansion, illegal grass collection, overgrazing by livestock, and deforestation in national park. As a result, local communities dislike wildlife inhabiting in and around their surroundings. Human wildlife conflict occurs when animals pose a direct and requiring threat to the life, livelihood or safety of people, leading to the persecution of the species. Retaliation against the species blamed often ensues, leading to conflict about.
Uh, Good morning, everyone. Myself, Jadhav Ashwini. I am from Section 13B. I am going to present some of the proposed plans of wildlife management. Various governmental and non-governmental organizations have taken up the cause to protect and conserve wildlife by the following ways. First, protection of natural habitats of organisms to control exploitations. As we know that human population is increasing day by day, which eventually leads to the increased population, which harms the uh, nature and animals living in those areas. So we must try not to do pollution, or we must decrease our uh, pollution so that the animals cannot be harmed. Second is the maintenance of the rare species in protected areas such as national parks, sanctuaries, etc. Means if we know that these species are going to be extinct or are endangered species, then we must protect those animals in national parks and sanctuaries. For example, Asiatic lions are very rare species. So it is only found in the Gir National Park of India. So they are being protected in a national park for to maintain their number. The third, establishment of the specific biosphere reserves for endangered plants and animals. Means we must establish or we must open some of the national parks, sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, or zoos or parks for the animals and plants which are endangered or rare species. Fourth, protection of wildlife through legislation such as banning of hunting, etc. Means we must protect our wildlife by some of the laws, by by banning the hunting of the animals. Fifth, imposing specific restrictions on the export of endangered plants and animals or their products. As we know that the snake skin or the leopard skin is being exported from India to other countries of the world. So as we know that we have a low number of, or we have less number of leopards, so we must not be exporting their products. Conservation strategies. The strategies developed by the conservation biological diversities are as follows. All efforts to be made to conserve threatened species. Means we must do anything to conserve our animals and plants which are going to be extinct or which are endangered species. All endangered species should be protected. Means the species which are rare should be protected in national parks or in sanctuaries, or we must also provide a gene bank for them so that we must have those animals later. Uh, the next is the wildlife must be protected in both natural habitat and artificial habitat by establishing zoological parks and botanical gardens or parks. As I said, that the animals must be protected in both ways. Natural habitat means we must also control our pollution so that the nature, so that the animals cannot be harmed. And we must also establish some of the zoological parks, botanical gardens, sanctuaries, or national parks so that the animals can be protected there. Varieties of useful food, crops, plants, animals, and microbes should be preserved for national and international breeding programs. Means if we will give proper food for the for to the animals and plant to the animals so that their breeding system would increase. The next is the wild plants and animals should be conserved as a gene bank for the later, as I said earlier. We must also provide a gene bank for the animals or plants which are going to extinct. The next is the habitats of animals should be guarded and well protected. The habits of animals should be guarded and well protected. Means we must give proper food. We must give a healthy lifestyle to the animals. Next is a protected area to be established to preserve the bird, to preserve the habitat or migratory or wide-ranging animal species. As I said, that we must also uh, establish a national park, zoo, or birds which are or bird sanctuary which are for the birds or the animals which are migrating or which are changing their place from one to another. The next is unique ecosystem should be conserved on top priority basis. Ecosystem to be determined for exploited species during the productive period. Means we must give a proper care and conservation to the animals. The next is international trade and commerce to be prohibited in the areas of wild animals and plants. Means grazing, means overgrazing or over harvesting, or we should not live in those areas. We should not take up those areas where the animals are going to live or the animals are living already. So we must prevent some areas.
Conclusion. Protection of wildlife alone is not possible only by the laws and government. Despite all of these laws and efforts, destruction of wildlife, illegal trade, and poaching continues. Now, what is poaching? Poaching is the illegal hunting, capturing, and often killing of wild animals. Active cooperation from the common public is also very necessary. It is now high time for us to understand the gravity of the situation and act on its behalf. And this can only be achieved by our awareness and by further stringent laws by the government. We must not lose the national treasure in our rat race of urbanization and modernization. Okay, so now what is this? So we know that there is rapidly increase in population in megacities and other major cities, and this will be worth noting that the number of regional to mid-sized cities is 500k to 5 million inhabitants, will swell drastically by 2030, becoming more influential economic hubs in the process. Wildlife conservation is necessary for sustainable development. Various efforts have been made at the international and national levels. In India also, various efforts have been made like Project Tiger, Project Elephant, captive breeding program, etc. India also adopts various methods and policies at international level or in the line of international agreements and convention. So, as we know that our government has taken various steps to conserve the wildlife and the animals which are already endangered or are at the border of being endangered. There was a time when human interference was minimum. The number of animals was quite high and there was no problem of their protection or conservation. But with the expansion of agriculture, settlement, industrial and other developmental activities, and mainly due to greed of man, the number of wild animals gradually became lesser and lesser. As we all know that the population of lion and tigers were almost in millions when the time was around 1950 and 1960, but now we can see very less number of lions and tigers in our country or all over the world. Let us not forget that the Wildlife Protection Act is for securing protection of the wildlife. The way the animals are vanishing from earth, there is an absolute urgent need to stop hunting or killing of wild animals in general and endangered species in particular. Okay, so we know that nowadays we are living in a so modern world that people always want to show off, and thus they are using the products which are made from animals, those expensive perfumes, handbags or belts. So by this we are killing a lot of animals for our personal uses, and yes, we should stop it, or else there will be a day when no animal will be found. Several species of animal have been pronounced extinct and several others are at the verge of extinction. Deforestation is also one of the reasons for the loss of wildlife. Mass-scale killing of animals for their meat, bones, fur, teeth, hair, skin, etc. are going on throughout the world. As I said that we live in a modern world and we always want to do show off of our things. So for this we are killing animals in a very huge amount. So yes, we should stop it or else no animals will be found. Okay. So there are various factors like how can we conserve our nature or our wildlife. First is pitch in. Trash isn't just ugly, it's harmful. Birds can trap their heads in plastic rings. Fish can stuck there in nets. Plus, trash pollutes everyone's natural resources. Do you part by putting trash in a place and keeping your community clean? Second is recycle. Find new ways to use things such as you already know. Third is restore. Habitat destruction is a main threat to 85% of all threatened and endangered species. According to the International Union of Conservation of Nature, you can help reduce this threat by planting native trees or cleaning up beaches in your area. Instead of cutting cakes on your birthday, take an oath to plant a tree. Fourth is join. Whether you are interested in protecting natural habitats or preventing in wildlife trafficking, find the organization that speaks to your passion. If such an organization doesn't exist in your community, create one. Fifth is volunteer. One way to support an organization is to donate your time. Many offer volunteer programs. You can find clean beaches, rescued wild animals, or teach tourists about your local habitat. Sixth and most important is speak up. Share your passion for wildlife conservation with your family. Tell your friends how they can help. Ask everyone you know to do what they can do to help and conserve wildlife. So here I am ending this with a video.
Conservation is to keep an eye on the most endangered species on the planet in such a diverse place, help study the diversity and health of the ecosystem.
Record sightings to see how they respond to environmental degradation, and we are working to try to help preserve this area in order to safeguard the future of the species.
The data collected by Frontier and our volunteers all over the world is used to protect some of the most endangered species and habitats. We do this by raising awareness in local communities about sustainable practices and by providing research to governments to inform the management of protected areas.